Hello. Today I want to talk about money. Especially in the spiritual communities, there's a lot of confusion around the meaning and purpose of money. And in fact, money is seen as the root of all evil. So if you are in the category on the fence about what money is and you don't quite see the value of money, you'll find this video helpful. You'll also find it helpful if you're struggling to attract money in your life right now. So money came about as a medium of fair exchange within our societies. Now, before we started to use money as a currency, we had what you call barter system, where we exchanged goods and services. Now, when we were nomads, we wandered around and found the things we wanted and needed and satisfied our needs by wandering around and finding what we needed and wanted. But as we started to settle in specific locations, we started to develop cultures and societies around there. And along with this also came the idea of specializing in a specific trade that we had special talents in. As a result of this, what started to happen is our reach in the world started to broaden, and money became exchanged, first of all, within smaller communities where the reach was getting a little wider and there could be no direct contact. Money started being used as a medium of exchange there. And then very soon what happened was this crossed, the local boundaries and went to national boundaries and crossed over into international boundaries. So the medium of currency which exists right now is the paper currency. Along with that, there's a change coming in as cryptocurrency, which is broadening our reach in the world, our method of exchange in the world even further. And also, in the past, it was barter system. So if you are really struggling with issues with money, one of it could be the way you think about money and see money. So think about it as a medium of exchange rather than something that is solid, okay? Because when you see it as a medium of exchange, you understand it as a flow in your life. It's a give and a receive, okay? That brings us to the next piece, which is what do we actually give, and how do we actually receive, and what do we actually receive? So remember that I said it's a medium of fair exchange. Money is here to promote fair exchange. So what you want to get very clear on is what is it that you bring to the table in the form of values. In other words, what are your specialized gifts and talents that you bring to this world that you actually can be remunerated for? And once you get clear on this, then you name your price. I'm using this terminology kind of a little bit funnily, but you name your price. It's not like you can attract any price because the universe has checks and balances. If you price yourself too high, which means you elevated yourself, then nobody will want to purchase your goods and services, or very few will want to purchase your goods and services. Therefore, you'll attract very little of that. If you price yourself very low, then you'll be constantly servicing a lot of people and you will cap your ability to make income beyond a certain level. So what you want to start to recognize is where you are elevating yourself too much and where you are putting yourself down a lot. And balance this out. And when you balance this out, you can start to attract and flow money into your life because you see it as something that comes and goes. Meaning, you're going to spend the money that people give you. Let me give you an example of this. I'm a coach. I work nationally, locally, nationally, and internationally. Okay, when I work locally, I will have the ability to reach X number of people, let's say, within my immediate community. Let's say that's 100,000 people, okay? Now, that's where my income is going to cap to a portion of that 100,000 because not everybody in the 100,000 wants my goods and services. So now, in order to expand, I have to go, let's say, to the national level. If I go to the national level, now I've broadened my reach and I can attract more people. I can service more people. Now, I also have to be cognizant to offer them something that they will value. Because if they don't have a value to, for example, improve their relationship skills or to improve their leadership skills or to improve their life, then they have no reason to work with me. So I would be delivering strong value in these areas for them to want to work with me and to pay me what I want to be paid in my job, in my role. So you want to understand where you are and what your relationship with money is. Now, if you want to keep money and if you have to have a value on it. If you want to attract money, you have to have a value on it. So what you want to start looking at is, if you're struggling with money issues especially, you want to start looking at where you're not valuing it enough, okay? And valuing it enough may be in the form of you actually disrespect it by not honoring it as a fair medium of exchange, or you are too liberal with it and you don't put any emphasis on saving money in your life. Now, when you fall in both of these categories, you're going to start to drain yourself of money. So you would want to bring it back to balance so that you can attract and keep the money while spending a little bit of the money, okay? So you want to keep the flow and keep it healthy between giving and receiving. And that is where the maximum amount of money is attracted in your life. It is the optimized amount for you to attract. Then you have to improve your skills if you want to attract more money, gain more mastery, and offer new benefits and new products and services to your clients so that you can bring more benefits or expand your reach again. These are the ways in which you can keep growing. And then what you want to look at is how you're balancing out your life. So what I will tell you is that anytime you don't live in your values, you're going to be living in somebody else's values. Now, when I say values here, I'm talking about your core values. Remember at the beginning, I said that we developed specialized skills and abilities based on the cultures and societies that we were living in. Well, as part of that, we started developing our set of core values through our family system, our cultural system, and our societal systems. Now, as a result of that, we bring these skills to the table. This is why money is very deeply tied to your spirituality, because anytime you're living in your highest values, your most objective, unbiased, rational, fair, equitable, most spiritual, and also most equal and willing to be in a fair relationship with people, okay? If you're not living in your values, you're either going to feel drained because you're living in somebody else's values, or you're going to feel over-empowered, and then you're going to have humbling lessons that the universe is going to bring you to show you where you have not placed enough of a value. So you want to start seeing this in perspective of where you are in your life right now. And you want to see where you are lopsided in your life right now. And that is the key, because when you can balance all 7 dimensions of your existence, whether it is your spirituality, your financial dimension, your mental, emotional, your intellectual, your social and relationship dimension, whatever dimension it is, the more inner work you start doing, the more balanced all these dimensions start to get. And the more balanced these dimensions get, the more fair your relationships and exchanges start to become. And as that starts to happen, the spikes and the dips in your financial flow also start to steady out. And that is how you start to stabilize your financial situation. It's by living in your highest values and making a commitment every day to stay in your highest values that you start to attract money into your life. And let's just call it abundance, because ultimately money changes forms. In the past, it was barter system. We traded and exchanged services. Then it changed into paper currency and coin. Then it's changing again into cryptocurrency. Now you can fight with reality, or you can accept the reality and say, the universe is bringing this in, the collective is bringing this in to take things to the next level of opening the world up. Because with crypto, there'll be a new level of trade and exchange going on. Will it have its minuses? Absolutely. Just like paper currency has its minuses, crypto will have its minuses and risks. And like the barter system had its minuses and pluses, crypto will also have that, and the paper currency also has that. Nothing in life is just all pluses and no minuses. Everything ultimately is happening in your thought process, in your perception. So it's really important for you to understand the value that you place on money. Some of you may not be valuing money enough for you to attract it in your life. And so what I invite you to do, if you're struggling with money issues, or if you're struggling to live in your purpose, I invite you to take my Live, Love, and Lead free assessment, where you will answer a few meaningful questions. And based on your answers, you will get a very accurate picture of where you stand in the areas of life, love, and leadership. And I've definitely snuck in some questions on financial wellness as well in that assessment. So when you take the assessment, you're going to get a pretty well-rounded picture for where things may be lopsided in your life right now, and how you can start to balance out your perspective so that you can balance all dimensions ultimately in your life and start to attract flow and abundance in all dimensions, financial and otherwise. So take the Live, Love, and Lead assessment, and my team worked very hard to put that assessment together. It's a great way to journey and come into the flow with us and start to come into our world, and ask your questions down below. Subscribe to the channel, ask your questions, and I'm happy to answer them for you. Or someone from my team will answer them for you. But situate yourself in a way that you are surrounded by inspiring ideas, thoughts, people, and that abundance is a part of your everyday life. It's not just something you go to once in a while. And how do you do that? You fill yourself with gratitude for all the experiences. You start to feel gratitude, and you start to step into gratitude as you remove the blocks that you are working through with regard to money, love, life, and leadership. Okay? Have a beautiful day, and I will look forward to connecting with you really soon.